All right, guys, this one is pretty crazy because the MAGA movement just got exposed for being the bot-driven, foreign-backed, inauthentic movement that most of us, quite frankly, already knew it to be. Now, if you are a heavy social media user, especially on Twitter, you have probably noticed that there is a very hard lean to the right. And that lean has only gotten harder ever since Elon Musk took over that platform. And over the past handful of years or so, we on the left have been warning that there has been foreign interference on these social media platforms. But people on the right, people inside the MAGA movement, have been trying to downplay these threats, probably because it redounds to their benefit. They know that this will help them reach their political ends. But this latest feature that Twitter just turned on completely blows up the idea that the MAGA movement is 100% authentic and that it has overwhelming support in the United States of America. And before we go ahead and take a look at the new change that Twitter just made, I just want to remind everybody that this has been an ongoing issue ever since Donald Trump came onto the political scene back in 2015. If you guys do appreciate my work and want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe.
In September, at the G20 meeting in China, President Obama reportedly warns Russian President Vladimir Putin to stop his nation's interference. 2 months later, Donald Trump wins the presidency. But before his inauguration, the Obama administration publicly points the finger at Russia for the Clinton email hack, and in retaliation, levies sanctions on Russia and expels 35 Russian nationals from the U.S. The next month, a declassified intelligence report, written with input from the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA, states that Vladimir Putin personally ordered a cyber and social media campaign to disrupt the recent U.S. presidential election. And it states that Putin had a clear preference for Donald Trump. According to the report, Putin, quote, aspired to help President-elect Trump's election chances, when possible, by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him.
So for most of you, this is probably old news, but I just wanted to remind everybody that this has been an ongoing issue as far as this foreign interference goes ever since Donald Trump came back onto the political scene back in 2015. It was probably even a problem before then. But the crazy part about the MAGA movement in particular is that there has been a multitude of investigations that have proven Russia has meddled in our elections to help Donald Trump. So much so, in fact, that the Mueller report and Mueller himself returned multiple indictments proving this fact.
In February of 2018, Robert Mueller's first indictment against the Russians drops.
The indictment charges 13 Russian nationals and 3 Russian companies for committing federal crimes while seeking to interfere in the United States political system.
Mueller's team lays out a sweeping case, directly accusing Russian citizens and companies of a massive, coordinated disinformation campaign to sabotage the election.
The defendants allegedly conducted what they called information warfare against the United States, with the stated goal of spreading distrust towards the candidates and the political system in general.
The indictment accuses the Russians who worked out of this building in Moscow of stealing American identities, setting up fake accounts on Facebook and other social media sites, and spreading false and inflammatory information. According to the indictment, their work isn't limited to the internet. Russians allegedly traveled across the U.S., hid their identities, and staged political rallies. The indictment also confirms the Russians had a favored candidate. Quote, by early to mid-2016, defendants' operations included supporting the presidential campaign of then-candidate Donald J. Trump and disparaging Hillary Clinton. 5 months later, another Mueller indictment. 12 more Russians are indicted by Mueller's team, including members of the GRU, a unit of Russian military intelligence. That's their headquarters. They're accused of hacking and stealing the Democratic National Committee and Clinton campaign emails.
Yeah, guys, so how many times have we heard Donald Trump? How many times have we heard people inside the MAGA movement try to say that this whole Russia collusion thing was just a hoax? that Donald Trump or anybody in his campaign knew nothing about any meddling with the Russians. Even though Donald Trump came out on national television, he prompted people in Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's emails, and then the very next day, what do you know? The DNC and Hillary's emails were hacked. And then after he was elected the first time, he did a joint press conference with Putin where he sided with Putin over our own national intelligence agencies. It is just undeniable at this point that Russia has been meddling in our politics to help people like Donald Trump. And like I said, this new feature that Twitter just turned on just really goes to this point. We are learning that many of these big MAGA accounts on Twitter are not even from people who are based inside of this country. And I think Micah Irfan put it best here, where he says, Democrats have rung the alarm bell about foreign psyops for almost a decade now. We were laughed at, smeared, called hysterical. But now it's undeniable. MAGA is and always has been a foreign-backed operation to destabilize, divide, and eventually destroy the United States of America. No truer words have ever been spoken. And this should make sense to most people. Why is Donald Trump so favorable to Putin? Why is Donald Trump siding with Russia over our own intelligence agencies? Why does Donald Trump not give a shit about this foreign interference that has been proven over and over and over again? Instead, he is trying to use the levers of power he has in the government to go after anybody who was investigating this Russian collusion story. That is what this president has done. And now with this new feature turned on by Twitter, we are getting a glimpse of just how many of these big MAGA accounts are not even run by people in America. It is absolutely insane. Harry Sisson, put together a feed where he lays out some of these big MAGA accounts who are based in countries far, far away. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a few of these. Collectively, guys, we're talking about millions of followers here. We're talking about people who have major influence over the MAGA base. Here we've got the first one, this MAGA Scope account. Date joined 2024, account based in Nigeria. Let's go on to the next one. We've got the American Patriot from Chile. Excellent. Cold War Patriot is his handle, or their handle. Date joined August 2021. We've got Charlie's Voice, Rising. Based out of Eastern Europe, guys. Based out of Eastern Europe. I wonder if that person is maybe in a country that is, I don't know, maybe aligned with Russian interests. Is that maybe possible over there in Eastern Europe? You can see here it even says Eastern Europe, non-EU, meaning they are not part of the European Union. The next one, we've got this MAGA Nation account, also from Europe, non-EU, again, joined in April 2024. We've got Trump fan page from Thailand called Dark MAGA Coin, joined in June of 2024 from the United Kingdom, or in the United Kingdom, but account is based in Thailand. We've got another one. America First, date joined March of 2025 in Bangladesh, account is based in Bangladesh. Here's another account. MAGA and World is what they call themselves. Joined in June of 2024 in East Asia and Pacific. And what do you know? The account is based in East Asia and Pacific. I mean, we can go on like this, guys. MAGA account from Russia, which is one of many. Mary Tiles, Texas. Okay, date joined September 2022 in Russia, account based in Russia. We've got the Joe Rogan News account, which, gives updates on the Joe Rogan podcast and things like that. Joined November of 2013, also based out of East Asia and Pacific. This account in particular has more than 1 million followers. So these are not just tiny little accounts with hundreds of followers. We're talking about millions of people who could be seeing content from people who are not based in the United States. And like I said, guys, we could go on for quite a while. Now, I don't know exactly how many of the main MAGA accounts are based in a country far, far away, but it's probably over 20 or 30%. I've heard the figure all the way up to half. I don't know if there is any truth behind that 50% figure, but it is millions upon millions of people who are ingesting content from people who could very well be trying to divide this country. Now, I'm not foolish to think that this does not happen on the left. I am sure there are accounts that are based in countries that are not America that are also trying to do the same type of meddling on the left. This is how these disinformation campaigns work. The overall idea is to sow chaos amongst Americans. And we have seen that they have been very effective at this. We had people over at the Internet Research Agency, I believe it was called, over in Russia. They would set up two protests. One would be like a BLM event, and then one would be like a white separatist event, and they'd be like right across the street from each other to try to cause chaos and division. And now that we are in 2025, moving into 2026, these influence campaigns are much more sophisticated. We saw what happened with Tenet Media, where you had people like Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and other prominent figures who are American who are being paid off by Russian money. It is insane that we now have a president of the United States backed by a MAGA movement that is being driven by bot farms and foreign actors. And you guys might not think that this is a big idea or a big deal, but I'm just going to have to disagree with you there. It doesn't have to necessarily be. There's a couple of different ways that this disinformation thing can kind of work. But the one that I'm most concerned about is if you have a whole bunch of fake accounts, and some estimates put bot accounts up near the 40 or 50% mark on Twitter. If you've got all of these fake accounts jumping behind and showing support for these MAGA ideas, you are going to get American citizens who are going to start believing in these very extreme things because they're going to want to jump on the bandwagon and they don't want their movement to leave them behind. These disinformation operations are very, very dangerous. And now with this new feature turned on by Twitter, we are now learning that the MAGA movement is just littered, plastered with foreign actors who are likely trying to divide our country. And we have a president of the United States who is more than willing to shine a spotlight on these foreign actors, as long as it is helping him meet his political ends. So this is a big, big deal that I had to talk about, guys. This is absolutely insane. And like I said, I'm sure this happens on the left, and we could look at examples on the left. But I find it more concerning that we have a MAGA movement that is currently running this country, that is trying an authoritarian takeover, the likes of which we have never seen before, and it is in part being driven by bot farms and foreign actors who want to see this country burn. That should be concerning to everybody. And this administration, because they have a clear preference to keep Trump in power, they're not going to do shit about it. So be careful out there, guys. Twitter is a nasty, nasty place. I spend as little time on there as I possibly can. But this is just another self-inflicted wound by Elon Musk, turning on a feature that is outing a whole bunch of these MAGA influencers as foreign actors. So you absolutely have to love it. And like I said, guys, be safe out there. Try to verify the information that you are consuming. Try not to share information that you haven't verified yourself. These foreign accounts are doing untold damage to our political environment. And now we have half the country, or people inside the MAGA movement, who are more willing to side with Russians than they are their liberal American neighbors. And that should be frightening to everybody. So I'll leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are building something here on the left that pushes back against this MAGA media machine that just launders all of this foreign influence for the Trump administration every single day. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to hit that subscribe button. Of course, that is free right here on YouTube. If you guys want to go a step above and beyond that, you can help me produce these videos by becoming a member right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month. Or you can head over to politiscape.substack.com, where you can have my content delivered directly to your inbox every single day without the doom scrolling, without the algorithms. And the cool part about Substack is I own the data over there. So that is a huge win if you sign up over there. And just to remind everybody, as I will continue to do over the next month, the Unfuck America Tour has a big event on December 20th down in Phoenix, and you can hit that link in my bio to purchase tickets to that event. And I will continue to ask and continue to say, I need help raising a little bit of money so I can get myself down to that event to see all you guys out there. So hit that link in my bio below. You can sign up to volunteer, or you can sign up to donate, whether you got $2, $10, or $50, guys. Every little bit counts, and it's got to be a team effort as we continue the fight against this authoritarian regime. So until the next one, guys, everybody keep your chin up. Careful about that information you're consuming, especially on Twitter now. And I'll see you guys on the next one.